Hey, what's up to connects out there in high vibes? In today's video, I just want to talk about words can move people or they can hurt people, or the different aspects of speaking words. And actually, be able to speak through truth basically, and I'll add some spiritual vibe and info into this basically as well. Because I like to go over a few things, but the main subject is basically how words can move people. So I'll just get into it right away. So basically, yeah, we've all had instances where we've tried to say something to somebody, but we couldn't get it across the right way, or we've said something and people have misinterpreted it, and things like that, or basically things like that happen, right? But what I truly want to say through this is like how you can speak and actually help people and move people to a better way. Just like how, you know, they do it in a negative way, we can do it in a positive way too. If you look at Martin Luther King Jr., how he stood up for people's rights and stuff like that, and actually was trying to help and see that black people were just like regular people and they deserved to be treated just like that. And that was a risk and a movement basically through speaking that they're equal to everybody else. And then that's like a positive aspect of knowing how to be motivational and being able to speak. And then there's the negative way of speaking. Take Hitler for example. He was both Martin Luther King and Hitler were both great speeches, but what Hitler did with the way he was able to speak, he used it in a negative way to move people in a negative way. And look at what happened. What he did, he got people to be moved in a negative way to do negative things and kill millions of billions of people. Of course, there was other reasons behind it too, but I'm not going to get into that. Also, another reason you want to speak, why you want to learn how to speak through truth and be able to help move people in a positive way, because when you do that, you can actually help start shifting things in reality. You can help start moving people in a better direction. See, a lot of these music industries and a lot of these people that are so-called philosophers and things like that, they actually program people by moving them into a pen basically to get them boxed back in. See, the way some people speak in this world is with their intentions behind it. They say things to get people trapped in to get trapped inside of boxes. You got to be able to speak from your heart basically, so that people can resonate with it and start to break down the illusions and the barriers that these people have spoken to other people. Because if you really think about it, we all listen to what people have to say, right? And a lot of times when people are tuned into the TV and all these different types of technologies and things like that, most of the time people are just in a beta brainwave when they're watching this type of stuff, or they're not really paying attention to the way people are saying things, or even through the music, they're not really paying attention to the words. They're already just like going with the rhythm. They're just going in that beta brainwave, like, yeah, man, this shit's really great, got me pumped up and everything, because they're in that vibration that music's putting out, and that frequency in the words, and then that's when the scripts start being downloaded. Uh, that's why when you start to speak from truth and you start making a positive message and things like that, you actually help start breaking people free from those type of things. Why is it that you think when someone like a hip-hop artist, a real hip-hop artist, not the fake, not these fake ones that say that they're the rappers and stuff like that, because that's just not real, like, because all the stuff they rap about and all the things that they sing about is about getting money, singing in code basically, about talking about how they see things for some things, and it's sometimes these people don't even write their own songs. Some of these people actually just get the songs brought to them, and then they sing these songs, and it's actually a program to get people programmed in a negative aspect. It's like, but back to why do you think they don't let people who are true and spiritual sin like that, and they would try to kill people like that? Is because the truth can actually help move people. When you get into a certain vibration, you feel a certain frequency within somebody, and they're speaking from truth and from the heart, and they're speaking all this truth and this wisdom that's actually helping you set free, that makes you feel really good. That makes you feel enlightened. That makes you feel free in yourself, makes you free within your spirit, because the message that you feel is truth in yourself. Of course, the ego sometimes wants to get involved, and that's where people get mixed up with these so-called artists and things like that. They get mixed up with their egos, and they get their egos drawn in basically to these rap artists basically, and they get programmed by their programs. It's like learn to speak from truth so other people can basically break free. Don't be afraid to speak the truth, especially if someone's bullying you, if someone's hurting on you and things like that. you can basically speak a certain way in a very positive manner, in a very stern voice, basically, to tell that person leave you alone. But of course, if they try to physically harm you, make sure you can physically protect yourself. Have some pepper spray or stuff like that, and anything to basically protect yourself. If they're trying to harm you and do those type of things, you got to protect yourself spiritually, mentally, and physically. And another thing too that I want to talk about is getting rid of the old programs inside yourself, and basically, allowing new positive programming. Get rid of the deprogram the negative programs and reprogram yourself with the positive programs, basically, and getting rid of and actually getting your PTU to its fullest capability. Just like in a computer, right? There's junk files, there's spam folders that get downloaded, and that's basically like your mind, right? You could say your mind is like a computer, right? But it's not technological, it's biological, right? But of course they'll try to mix in the technology with the biological, so they can get you trapped in here like completely, basically. But back to how your brain's like a computer, basically, but it's more powerful than a computer. Let me get that straight too. Your brain and your spiritual mind and your higher self are far more powerful than any type of computer software that they have out there right now. So basically, which actually, I'll even clarify that too. No matter how much technology they make and things like that, no matter how, even if they do mix it in with the technological with the biological, it won't compare ever to your spiritual and your higher self, no matter what, because it's limitless. It can't be boxed in. See, if you mix in the technology with the biological, it creates that box. It creates this this thing where you actually can't break free. So that's why you want to break free and get out of here, basically. But back to your P2, when you're watching TV and all these things and stuff like that, all these programs are getting downloaded onto you. You want to make sure what you're actually watching or observing, you're bringing into yourself is actually a positive thing. You got to be able to see the things and be able to decode these type of situations and things like that. So that way you're not just getting programmed. You actually have to have a filter to process the information. See, they want you to get rid of the filter, and not having a filter is like being in a beta brainwave, basically, where there is no filter. See, the consciousness is the filter. The consciousness is the filter between you and the program that is trying to be being brought into your inner self, basically. That's why becoming conscious and having the first-hand experience is really very important for anybody out there that is trying to become more aware, trying to become spiritually aware of the things that are going on in this world, because people are aware of certain things, on different levels. There's negative people that are aware of certain things, and there's positive people that are aware of certain things as well. And then there's people that are on positive sides that are trying to do positive things, and there's negative people that are trying to do negative things to get people programmed. Of course, there's a lot more negative people than there are positive people, and you can look at today's society and see that, it doesn't take much observation to notice that there's a lot of people out here that are in a low vibration. People are being used, abused, mistreated. People aren't being treated fairly in this world. A lot of this stuff in the world is actually really messed up. A lot of things in this man-made matrix, or what we call society or civilization, whatever you want to call it, it's unbalanced. Things are out of balance here, and by actually helping reprogram yourself, not only is it helping yourself, but it's helping the next person that you actually want to help, because true spiritual beings want to help other people. This message will only resonate with those who truly resonate with it. It's not going to be for everybody. It may pertain to you in a certain specific way. It may help you negatively or may help you positively. Everything has its purpose in this life, and if you can't see between the lines and stuff like that, or see the duality in this world, and knowing how to use your white light and your dark light within yourself, because there's different aspects to this reality. Just like this is what they do to people. They use the white light, basically. They put in the love, right? But behind that white light, they're using the darkness to get people. See, they say that you can't, everything's about love and light. All these fake spiritual gurus and stuff like that are on YouTube and stuff like that. They're like, oh, everything's love and all this stuff, but they won't ever tell you how to protect yourself. See, there's negative ways of using white light, and there's positive ways of using white light. There's positive ways of using dark light, and there's negative ways of using dark light. And what they do is with the white light is they use it in a negative way, and then they use the dark light behind you because they're getting you on both angles. They're both hitting you from both the light and the dark. That's why they'll throw the checkerboard in people's faces, because they're actually hitting you with both the light and the dark at the same time. But they're behind the scenes when they're throwing up that one light, because if you're only viewing one thing in front of your face and you're not aware of the other thing that's behind you, there's something that's wrong with your awareness. You have to be able to see between, the light and the dark, basically, because they're putting up this. Imagine if they're putting a piece of paper in your face, right? They're putting it right in your face, and then they got this dark, devious intention behind it. They can pretend that they're smiling, they can pretend that they're happy and stuff like that, but behind their intentions and who they truly are, which is a dark spiritual, not a dark spiritual person, but a dark D-man, a D-man that's in the lower stages of consciousness that learns certain information and now is abusing that information by knowing the difference between dualities and stuff like that, and knowing how to basically deceive people with that information. They're actually deceiving a lot of people out here. See, a lot of these, YouTubes, if you actually start to watch, they tell you all these things and stuff like that, but then they never tell you how to really truly protect yourself. They never really truly give you the information that's actually going to help you, actually benefits you, and actually get you out of here. Everyone talks about astral projection. Everyone talks about there's life after death and stuff like that with these so-called, spiritual communities and stuff like that. But why aren't they giving you the information that actually gets you out of here? The stuff that actually helps you protect yourself, the things to actually look out for. Why aren't they giving you that information? You got to ask yourself, why don't they give you the information that actually gets you out of here, protect yourself, and see in between the lines? It's because they're using the white light for dark intentions. Like I was saying, you can use the dark light, basically protect yourself. Someone's getting basically attacking you spiritually, you can use that dark light to protect yourself. And then you can use both white and dark. It doesn't matter which one you use. It depends on the situation that you have to use that energy for, basically. And you have to be knowing how to decode the situation in order to know what to put into what you need to basically insert to the situation, so that way you can actually protect yourself. See, all these fake spiritual gurus aren't teaching you, none of you people out there that are, so-called spiritual, and it's okay, it's okay to go through that stuff. It's okay to, watch some of those videos in here and there and, see what these people are talking about. But at the end of the day, at the end of each and every single day of your life, at every moment that you watch one of these videos, if you're watching our, videos at RTM and stuff like that, it's not that we're like, oh, we're the best people in the world. No, we're actually just putting the work to actually help people. It's not like we're trying to get something out of this. We're just trying to help better the world for what it needs to be. It's not just something for our egos. See, a lot of these other people that are on these YouTube channels and stuff like that, they're doing it out of their egos, just so they can get cash for themselves, to basically help themselves and benefit their circle that they're in. It's not about the whole circle. You see, they got their little individual, NPA programs, their system, and their high mind setups that's benefiting them. And if you're not with them, you're just going to be basically going to be their energy source. You become their battery. And that's what they try to do to people. And that's what they do a lot of people out here. If you look at some of these videos, you see how many people are just, thinking that, oh, everything's love and light. Everything's just, happy and jolly in this world. But there is that other opposing force in this life. There is that dark side of reality, But there's different constants of, the darkness and stuff like that. At one aspect, you could be using dark light to help protect yourself against someone that's attacking you. But then you could be out in nature and you could see a little baby deer get eaten by a bear. That could be a dark version. Like I said, there's different frequencies and bandwidths of information, basically, that you can attune yourself to see through. Basically, you have to be understanding of both light and dark to get the best information that you can in this world. There's a reason why they came up with that symbol, that the good, the bad, and the ugly, because there is that ugliness in the world now. Because they came in and they did this, like how Austin said in his one of his previous videos, they became the virus, and they are this virus in this world. It's not like we're trying to put them down or anything like that, but it's just the truth in the way it is. It's not supposed to be this way. It's not supposed to be all about the ego. It's like there's a reason for balance for everything. It's like you have your spiritual time, then you have, your time to have fun. There's balance to everything in this world. And you got to know how to balance that. And then you just got to go with the flow with spirit, because that's what's going to get you out of here. In all honesty, you want to make it to your heart and be able to protect yourself and know how to, basically vibrate out into the world, so that other people can wake up. It's not hard to understand some simple concepts like this. It's a lot of people just want to fight this, and people want to put negative comments. People want to do this type of stuff because it's the truth. That's the way it is. The truth is the truth. Either you can take it or you can leave it. Like you can either get right or you can get left behind. It's like you can either become righteous in your heart, or you can become a left brain, analytical, egotistical person that believes in, they become, the way they see everything, you know, becoming their gods and stuff like that, going in the non-physical and they get to live forever there. It's like, it doesn't work like that. It's like we're all going to die at some point, you know, physically. Even in the, you know, non-physical side, you still die there too. Like, because that still deals with the mental, you know, if you really think about it, if you really actually put your mind to it, you're in your higher self, you know, at some point, even in the non-physical aspects, you know, it's still dealing with energy. Just like here, it's just more of a denser energy. That's why when you get to the non-physical, you deal with your dreams and stuff like that. You can do more, basically. There's less limitations. But while you're in this physical part, you know, you have to deal with density, more of a dense energy, basically. You know, of course, there are some things that can be broken in this reality. But, you know, if we are all collectively agreed on certain things within this, you know, denser reality that we live in, you know, we could actually, you know, do things. You know, we could actually fly and do all that stuff. But, you know, of course, you know, there are rules that Spirit has for this place and things like that that are already set up, because it's a learning lesson for everybody, and it's hard for people to understand this type of stuff, because, you know, it people want information so fast and so quickly, but they don't want to be willing to take the time to actually see, you know, each step, because that's what makes this journey so great, is each step that you take in your life is something that makes you better in your life. You get to learn through everything. You get to see everything for what it is. You take those steps step by step. And every step that you take, it's like everything changes in your life. The new perspectives that you get, the experiences, the things that you do in your life, the people that you meet. You know, of course, there's going to be a lot of egotistical people. Then you start to see the agents. You start to see all that stuff. Then you start getting the first-hand experience. Then you might get afraid. You know, then you have to learn to break through that fear. Then you have to learn to keep going. Then you have to learn to keep doing these things. It's always a constant pace. You know, if you're just in this life and you're thinking that, you know, you live and there's nothing else to this reality, then, to be honest, you're really lost at this point. You know, if you really think that there's nothing more to this world than you and all these philosophies of the, you know, the gods, or like the Greek gods and stuff like that, or, you know, all these different things, and you just live life and you die and you go to heaven. But if you actually truly put in the work, if you truly actually did the things that any of us at RTM said, or, you know, our MC, which he's already talked about people that you should be doing, you know, if you actually did those things and actually put in the work, your perspective would start to change. The things that you saw in this reality would start to change. The people around you would start to change, just because your frequency is changing your environment and who you are and the way you perceive things. You see, they don't want you to do that. And if you actually just put in the work, if you just took that first step, you know, everything begins with that first step in your life. Everything takes, even when you were a kid, if you even look when you're a kid, before you could take a step, you had to learn how to crawl. And before you had to crawl, you had to grow. You know, there's always a constant state of growing, you know. And if you think that you go through, like, back to the death part real quick, if you think that life is just where you just live and then you die, then you go into heaven, it's definitely not like that. It is not, you know. This is your life. It's serious. It's a very serious thing. Your life matters. Like, if you don't care about your life, your spirit cares about your life, and your spirit tries to help you. And see, the egotistical people want you to get nuts. They try to get you to not care. They don't want you to care about your spirit, but they want you to care about your ego. They want you to care about the things that the ego desires. Sorry, hold on. I'm gonna take a little drink of my water. But anyways, it's like this is like, you know, back to you know, they want you to care about the ego, right? But that's why they always give you the mind and the body. That's why you see it on all the advertisement. That's why they always, you know, put, you know, all the body and mind stuff, you know. But where's all that spiritual stuff? If you ask yourself, truly ask yourself, truly ask yourself, where's all the spiritual stuff? Where's the stuff that all this stuff came from? Where's the source of all these things that have happened in this world that created all this? You know, we just didn't evolve from fucking apes over time, you know. Yeah. Man, you just gotta stop believing all the lies that they tell you. It's like, the truth is right there, you know. And the reason why, if you look at all these so-called Illuminati and things like that, they put it in your guys' face. Of course, they're not telling you everything, because, you know, if they told you everything, then a lot of the illusions would start to break free. See, they always got to put in a little bit of truth so they can start to basically, you know, start deceiving. And, you know, they act bold because a lot of people are programmed. You know, And they are confident in that ability to basically show you guys that they're lying to you, that, well, they're actually programming you. They put everything in everyone's faces, but no one wants to be able to see, the real truth. No one wants to sit there and actually take the time to see the things that are really true in this reality. You got to ask yourself, why is everyone so focused on the mind and the body? Why is everyone so focused on sex? Why is everyone so focused on all these things that are the physicality that doesn't matter, the matter that doesn't matter? All you people out there that are new to my videos, of course, all the true connects already know what I'm talking about, so high vibes to that. We'll always continue to make that change within ourselves, all the true connects at RTM. But for anyone that is new out there, like, do you really ask yourself these questions? Really take the time, like, really truly do it. I've said it in all my videos. I've said about actually putting the time and the work to do these things and stuff like that. But in this video, it's more serious. Because a lot of people want to be entertained. People just want to laugh. People just want to live through. People do want to live through life. And one of my videos, about religion and the ideology of religion, in all reality, it does sound nice to just live, laugh, and you're happy and you die. Yeah, that's the ego's way of thinking that it's okay to sit there and live and laugh and die. But if you want to do that, that's your choice. But it's serious. Oh man, I don't know how to be more serious to some people out here. It's like you can't just go through life. It's like, I'm not trying to force you to be spiritual. Of course, this has to be a choice. There is choice in this reality that you get to make in your life. You get to choose whether if you want to go get a job, if you want to go ride a bike, if you want to go get a car, if you want to, buy an apple. You have the choice to do these things. No one's going to make you do it, but Spirit's always there for you. Spirit is always there for you and waiting for you to help you and guide you through all these things in this reality. Because, like I said, each one of those steps that you take, each step gets more closer to what is really true. And every time you take those steps within yourself, the closer you get to being truly free in who you truly are. And when you get to that truthness within yourself, that's when you can move mountains. That's when you can move people. That's when you can say things that actually change people. That's when you can actually change people's minds and speak a way that actually that ripples out into the world. And that's what the world needs. We don't need no more egotistical people. We don't need more people speaking about all this fake shit in this reality. What we actually need in this world is truth. What we need is people that actually speak truth in this world. We need a change in this world. We need things that are going to change this world, not to sit there and keep it in the same old cycle in a path of destruction. Things have to change. If you look at a tree, do you think a tree is always going to stay the same? If you look at nature, things always evolve and grow. Just like in science, they tell you things evolve and grow, but sometimes there is that mystical energy. Sometimes things do happen that are beyond your explanation. Just like, and if you got to take this into consideration, you never know when you are going to die. You never know when that is going to happen. So why not be in that moment where you can actually truly live in an immortal status? What is it that you want to live in? An egotistical way of being fearful all your life and not knowing what happens after death? Or do you want to be somebody that, where you're confident in yourself and you can live life at peace with yourself and being like in nature? Some animals in life, they understand death. Of course they mourn. There's animals, you can see animals mourn each other if they do die and stuff like that. But they understand within themselves, that happens. Everything happens, just like a bear, A bear knows that it needs to eat, and if it needs to eat a human, it's going to eat a human. But if it doesn't have to, a bear could just mind its own business and walk on by, There are these things in life that happen. It's like, man, if all you people out there that really wanted to truly wake up and really change your life, like, you can do it. It's not hard. It's just you just make it hard on yourselves. It's like, why don't you want to be free? Why is it that you want to live in fear or in illusions and stuff like that? Why is it? Ask yourself those questions. Don't sit there and just, allow other people to tell you a way to feel. Don't let your, people that you think that your friends, tell the way you should feel. Go within yourself. Go within yourself and ask the true questions. How do I really feel about these things in this world? Do I really know my spirit between my ego? It's like, do you know the difference between your spirit and your ego? Do you know the difference between, someone else's ego, someone else's thoughts and your thoughts and stuff like that? Do you know the difference between those things? It's like, if you haven't taken the time, start taking the time. Remove things out of your reality that are taking that time away from you and your spirit, and get into your spirit. Get that time and that spiritual time, because that's what counts. Because you never know when your time is up, because time is ticking. Even though time is illusion, time exists in this physical reality for a reason, because you have time to learn. you know, but then there's only a certain amount of time here in this physical that you have, and just like in the non-physical, there's a certain amount of time there, and stuff like that you have, but you have to learn what you have to learn while you're here. Just like when you go to school, you have to go learn things at school in order to graduate high school. Just like in this reality, why is it that you think we grow old over time? Why do you think some people get smart and some people get dumb when they get older? You know, some people don't ever learn their lessons. That's why there's some old people, you know, that for example, I knew a guy when I was living somewhere else, not here in Wisconsin. You know, I knew this 60-year-old guy, right? But he acted like a child and would be like the most obscene and most disrespectful old man. And then you have there are people that are older that are respectful, you know, they are knowledgeable, but there's not too many of them anymore, you know. It's like, ask yourself, where all these knowledgeable people went? Where's all the real true knowledge in this world? You know, it's within yourself. The book of life is within inside yourself. You know, all the answers that you seek, the truthness is within inside yourself. Because, you know, in all reality, if there wasn't a book for you to find, where would